What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nick 4K video. Today I'm going to be giving my brief, semi-brief review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I went to see it yesterday, and I was going to make the review right after I got home, but I decided to give myself some time to think about it, and I was really tired. So I'm awake now. It's the morning. I'm feeling nice and fresh. So let's do this. So since the movie just came out, this is more of a non-spoiler first impressions review. I think in maybe like a couple days I'll do like my full review and I'll break everything down. What I liked, what I didn't like, all that stuff. But on the surface, I think the biggest thing that people are going to be asking when it comes to this movie is, one, does this movie save the MCU? And two, is this movie actually good? And it's hard to really talk about the review without going to spoilers, but I'm going to really try not to. So if I do, I'm going to cut it out of the video, so don't worry about it. Spoiler free. Let's go. So before I actually went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday, the week before, I binge watched Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 to get ready for it. And I will tell you this definitely fits in those movies. Like, this feels like a movie that is not part of the MCU, but it is, but it also kind of isn't. And I kind of like that it is like its own thing. I think it does the best job with the multiverse concept so far out of any of the movies. And without going into spoilers, like I said, there's a lot of really cool cameos in this. So there are some movies where I'll watch like the spoiler review of the movie because I don't necessarily care what happens in it. I'll still watch the movie later, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really need to watch the actual non-spoiler reviews. This is a movie where you definitely want to make sure you don't watch the spoiler reviews, because there's a lot of moments in this movie where you're like, what the heck is this? Oh my gosh! Like, it's a lot of those, a lot of behind the curtain type of reveals, and they work so well. I will say that maybe sometimes the comedy kind of overdoes it, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's Deadpool, so it's like, it's not Thor, Love and Thunder. You remember how Love and Thunder was kind of like, all right, here we go, here's more comedy, here you go. Here you go. Forget story. More comedy. More comedy. Well, I feel like Deadpool actually does a better job of taking that comedy and taking that real story and blending them. And I'll tell you this, there were a lot of scenes in this movie where there's a lot of comedy and you're expecting more comedy. And instead of it doing the Thor Love and Thunder where like it's dramatic and then it turns into a comedic moment when it's not supposed to be, it's the opposite. It's like a comedic moment that turns into a dramatic moment, but it's done right. And I was happy to see that, because that didn't just happen once. That happened multiple times throughout the movie, where you actually let the movie come to a slow in a good way. You know, there are some moments that are kind of like, all right, this scene's kind of overdoing it. Let's move on to the next one. But I think for the most part, they did a really good job with pacing, at least for me. And yeah, that's really good. Ryan Reynolds, he's at his A game. This is probably the best Deadpool he's ever done. I mean, Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool are pretty much, synonymous with each other now. They are the same person, so it's great. Hugh Jackman, he's back. He's amazing as a Wolverine. There's a lot of funny cameos throughout the entire movie, but like one specific like chunk of like 5 minutes that people are gonna absolutely love. It was great. Let me think. What else can I talk about without actually going into spoilers? Man, this is tough. I'm going to have to do a ranking of like the X-Men movie again. One last ranking, because I guess this is technically like the last true X-Men movie. And then I'm going to also do like an MCU full ranking too. So you guys want to see those videos, make sure to subscribe for those. Is this movie the savior of the MCU? I think so, but also kind of like yes and no. Like it's really hard to say. The reason for that is because the movie is different from what we've been seeing. It's much more entertaining. It has a different soul than the other movies, and that's good. But also, it doesn't feel like an MCU movie, but it also kind of does. So I think it does a really good job of bridging those gaps. But I do think maybe the movie is going too far in some points. Like I said, I'll cover all that in my spoiler review. Did it save the MCU? I think for a lot of people, it's going to save the MCU. I think for a lot of people, this is not going to bring you back. But it is kind of like a MCU branch off. I wouldn't say it's like the tree of the MCU. Kind of feels like more of a branch of the tree. The marketing kind of sold it as if it was like this big endgame level event, or almost endgame level. Not that big, but something along those lines. And it really isn't. But it has some pretty big things for the future, especially in the end. And you guys will find that out when you watch the movie. I will say this, though. If you love the first two Deadpools, you're going to absolutely love this one. If you hated the first two Deadpools, you're going to hate this one. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But ultimately, whether a movie is good or bad, what I always say is the most important thing a movie has to be is entertaining. If a movie is not entertaining, it's not a good movie. Regardless of if you consider it good or bad, that's the bar for me, anyways. The entertainment value, whether the story's good or the characters are good or they're bad. If the movie's entertaining, it's got some value to it. It's like the old Transformers movies. They had some really rough character development and story plot and all that stuff, but they had a lot of booms, and they had some good-looking chicks. And you know what? That's value to me. So yeah, that is my brief, non-spoiler review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm going to be doing a deeper dive later in the week, and I'll also have rankings for the X-Men movies and rankings for the MCU as well. So I'm going to be trying to dive deep into more content like that. So if you guys have any cool ideas for future videos like that, let me know in the comments below. I took a little bit of a break, but I'm back, and I would appreciate getting more content ideas if you could. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe for more videos, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.